The new year usually comes with all sorts of resolutions and commitments we make to ourselves. In fact, if you're watching this video right now, chances are you're probably thinking about making some changes in your life. And it's hard to ignore the appeal of a fresh start in a brand new year. I myself am a firm believer of why start on a Saturday when Monday is right around the corner. So, the allure of a whole brand spanking new year is simply irresistible. But why 182.5 days, and what is this habit I'm committing to? Oh, please don't fret, baby bear. I will ease all your worries. Looking back over the last few years, out of everything I've tried and done, there are very few things that have had a lasting impact on my life. And perhaps unsurprisingly, the one that stands out the most is meditation. I know, doesn't feel that groundbreaking. Yet, when I look back, the times when I enjoyed my best mental health are at least partially linked to a meditation habit. So, why, if meditation is so good for us, is it so freaking hard to do it consistently? Well, the main reason is probably because, like anything worth doing in life, it actually takes effort. It's one more thing to add to our plate alongside the endless list of things we need to get done. So we have to find time to do it, and that's always hard. Also, it can be incredibly frustrating as well as numbingly boring to simply just be. We are constantly being bombarded by so much stimuli that the mere thought of being without some kind of visual or auditory input can make your brain completely freak out. Then there's the really icky bit of what happens when you actually start meditating. You're sitting down to face yourself in its most raw and vulnerable form. No bullshit, no facade, no gimmicks, just you. And that can be very overwhelming because we spend so much of our time actually hiding from ourselves, avoiding the tough conversations we need to have with our own minds. We basically avoid ourselves like a teenager at a family dinner. Finally, if you're a master procrastinator like me, we always have these grand ideas like, I'm gonna meditate for an hour every day, and envision the fabulous results that come from them, but fail to recognize that that alone accomplishes nothing. In fact, a lot of the time, daydreaming like that and envisioning the end goal can make us feel like we've already accomplished something, which makes the actual work we need to put in feel like much more of a heavy lift. So how am I going to change my approach this time? Well, first, I'm going to make it as simple as possible on the time commitment side. 5 minutes. Out of the 1,440 minutes in a day, I'm gonna take just 5 of those and try to meditate. And let's just make it clear that 5 minutes is still gonna be hard for me. Much smaller habits that take less than 5 minutes per day have famously eluded me in the past.
What? I'm doing it!
But I think I can commit to 5 minutes per day, especially because of the second thing. In the past, my approach to new habits has been very rigid and dictatorial, an all or nothing kind of deal. And if you've ever gone down that path, you know how well it works. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work, like at all. Here's how that usually happens for me, and see if that resembles at all what happens to you. You set out for perfection. Let's go with the earlier goal of meditating for 1 hour every day. That's 1 whole hour every single day. If at any point you happen to fall short of that goal, and you know very well that life always gets in the way, that means that you will no longer be able to attain perfection. And that's very discouraging because you won't be able to meet your goal. Remember, your goal wasn't to improve a bit. Your goal was meant to be life-changing perfection with your new habit. And since that's no longer achievable, then what's the point of continuing to put in the effort? You've already failed. And that's it. That life-altering goal you were basing so much off of turns into a thing you did a couple times once. So this time, I'm going to use a concept that's new to me, something I would have scoffed at not that long ago. The 2-day rule. Here's the gist. It's actually quite simple. You try your absolute best not to skip 2 days in a row. That's it. It allows enough flexibility for life to happen and still give you the feeling that you haven't fallen off the wagon quite yet. So technically, as long as you do your habit, in this case meditation for me, every other day, you're still good. That's where the 182.5 days thing comes from. I'm making the commitment to meditate for a year. 365 days in a year divided by 2. Yeah, you get the point. And to help me stay on track, I'm going to be using a meditation app. I've used an app called Headspace in the past, and I liked it very much. But recently, I came across an app called Waking Up, and the thing that's really resonated with me is that they go beyond the practice of meditation and into the theory behind it. And that gives me a much clearer picture to work with. So I'm going to buy a yearly subscription. Yes, I have to buy it because no, they're not sponsoring this. They should, but no, they're not sponsoring this video. So I'm gonna buy a yearly subscription and I'll get started tomorrow. What? It's only one day. I'm still good.